ambayo inaweza kutupatia mahitaji yetu ya kila siku.
And I want to talk to the graduands. There are 3 things that I would really persuade you to do. Number 1, the skills that you have gotten, make it your passion. Serve with the dedication. And then also, have a purpose. You have a purpose in this world. And your skills, you need to strengthen them to make sure that you are fulfilled as a person.
We now want to turn the clock back to Kasarani, where the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports is marking 1 year of being in office, tracking the milestones and the achievement that this ministry has been able to garner in the past 1 year. This specific event will also, see or witness the revolutionary Talanta Hela digital go live nationwide. That is where we now turn the clock to. That is Kasarani Stadium. Momentarily, the Cabinet Secretary is set to just perhaps, give some of those milestones that this particular ministry has been able to achieve in the past 1 year. And also part of what he'll be touching on will be the bit of arts, because remember, initially it was called the Ministry of Youth Affairs, the Arts, Sports and Culture before, that was changed. But that is just what is happening at the Kasarani Stadium here in Nairobi.
Join me here.
Yes, trumpet, let's thank God. 1 year achievements. This is a gospel song, appreciating God. I kila mtu juu, mikono juu. Let's appreciate God. Everyone, mikono juu. Tuendelee kudj, weka music kabisa. Machangamshe.
A celebratory mood you can witness there at Kasarani Stadium as that ministry marks 1 year in office. And just when the CS will be speaking and giving us a breakdown of what the ministry has been able to achieve, we shall be crossing over back there to just get a detail of what the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and the Arts has been able to achieve in the past 1 year. Now, the Judiciary has lauded Kituo cha Sheria in terms of protecting human rights laws that have brought tremendous changes in the legal sector. Speaking Friday night during a celebration to mark 50 years since inception of the organization, High Court Judge Wendy Kagendo reiterated Judiciary's commitment to continue partnering with Kituo cha Sheria in enhancing access to justice and providing alternative dispute resolutions in the public. Her sentiments were echoed by the Law Society of Kenya President Eric Theuri and Executive Director Kituo cha Sheria Annette Mbogo, who said the just concluded Legal Awareness Week across the country has been fruitful with the help of the many community paralegals across the country that work with the poor and the marginalized communities to access justice.
In a time when democracy is still threatened by authoritarianism, populism, extremism, and other forces that undermine the rule of law. We therefore need Kituo cha Sheria more than ever before.
And I'm extremely proud of the work that you have done over the years. and of the footprint that you have left in the quest to ensure access to justice for the vulnerable in society.
So the need to constantly create new ways in which you can provide our services, but still retaining the traditional ones, but coming up with ways that are more effective and also that are technologically based that can facilitate access to justice for the most marginalized.
So far, we have about 26 justice centers where Kituo is working at the moment. In these areas, we train paralegals. We have pro bono lawyers who do cases or advise clients for no fee.
Kata kitu hamsini.
Elsewhere, Kipsigis elders have called on King Charles III and Queen Camilla of England to extend their visit to Kericho County during their visit to Kenya on the 31st of October 2023. The elders, under the umbrella of Kipsigis Clans Association, comprising of 196 clans, said they are welcoming the King and the Queen to the country and requesting an audience with them. According to the elders, the forefathers were tortured and property taken away, and the visit by King Charles III and Queen Camilla is the opportunity they have been waiting for to present their grievances.
We are kindly asking King Charles III to at least find time so as to speak with the Kipsigis community, who are the real owners of the soil. Kipsigis has got 196 Kipsigis clans, where every clan has got a chairman.
Much importance for them to understand that the Kipsigis people suffered quite a lot. We have actually been having series of meetings, asking ourselves when these people are going to be compensated.
And sexual and gender-based activists are now calling upon the government and the public to be ambassadors in taming sexual and gender-based violence in the society. The activists say that school-going children often fall prey to unscrupulous people in society, hence the need for everyone to play part in ending the vice, especially during the long December holiday. Speaking during a sensitization forum in Kasarani, Nairobi County, the activists observed that engaging children in sporting and communal activities will be key in bringing sexual and gender-based violence to an end amongst children.
South Africa is involved in GBV and the prevention of GBV in community level. And as you see, for example, for today's event, it's a sports event that is organized. We're aiming at supporting young people, first of all with football equipment for the tournaments, but at the same time also giving them information on GBV and how they can be part of the champions that will be able to fight the issues of gender and violence in the community.
Why we are doing this is because we have what you have heard about the triple threat. We have ending early teenage pregnancies, ending sexual and gender-based violence, and ensuring we end also new HIV infections.
Shifting the focus back to Kasarani, where I'm informed that the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Sports, Ababu Namwamba, is now speaking. Remember that he's giving a breakdown on the 1 year of what the ministry has been able to achieve. Listen in.
I have served in the Uhuru administration. I'm serving in this administration led by President William Ruto, and I can tell you with certainty, without any fear of contradiction, that this is a unique administration. Unique especially because of the whole of government approach to service delivery, where the right hand of government knows what the left hand of government is about, where it is all hands on deck, one for all and all for one. And because of that, I want to applaud every single colleague across government for being an incredible part of this journey. But above all else, the team that has really delivered these milestones is you. The leadership, the staff of this ministry. And in a very special way, I want to ask all of you, and I'm very happy that we have brought here our team across the board. We have brought our officers from across the country. We have officers that have come from the regions, from the counties, who have joined us for this. And I'm going to ask all of you, members of staff of this ministry, to rise so that we can applaud you, because this is your day. May you rise, please, and let us give a hand of applause to this incredible team, our members of staff and the leadership of this ministry that has delivered the milestones we celebrate today. Asanteni sana. You may be seated. I want you to know that as your team leader, I recognize you, I appreciate you, and I owe you a debt of gratitude for the shift you put in, for the contribution you make, for the various responsibilities that are placed in your custody. I particularly also in a special way want to acknowledge the leaders who pull the strings in the various spaces. Our principal secretaries. I want to acknowledge Principal Secretary Ismail here, who is responsible for youth affairs. I want to acknowledge Principal Secretary Engineer Peter Tum. Peter and I were in Paris until last evening, and I left him behind in Paris to complete the assignments that had taken us to Paris. And so he's not here because he continues to pull and push the agenda that we were engaged in Paris. But he's a part of this, and in his absence, I want to acknowledge his contribution since he joined this team. I also want to acknowledge the heads of the various sagas, the heads of our various sagas, who continue to provide very specialized services in the respective spaces that you lead. Today we are being hosted here by Sports Kenya, which is ably led by this gentleman, Pius Meto, as Director General, together with a team of a board led by my brother Mheshimiwa, Chairman of the board. We served together in Parliament. We find ourselves together again serving here in this ministry. Asanteni sana, Sports Kenya. We are also hosted here by the Kenya Academy of Sports, led ably again by this great lady, Doreen Odhiambo. Doreen, together with your team, and I saw your board in the house, a board that is populated by great names, Catherine Dereba, Tegla Lorupe, Humphrey Kayange. It is a board really of who is who have made a mark in the world of sports, supporting Doreen at the Kenya Academy of Sports. We are also joined here by the Kenya Film Commission, the people who are responsible for cinema, and Timothy Owase here, together with his team at the Kenya Film Commission. I want to acknowledge you alongside your twin, the Kenya Film Classification Board. I also want to acknowledge the unit that we are using so effectively to wage an all-out war against doping, the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya. I was with the CEO in Paris because the business that took us to Paris was around the big deal of doping, but I can see the chair of the board in the house. I want to acknowledge you, Chairman, on behalf of EDAC and the amazing work you are doing. I also want to acknowledge the National Youth Council. The National Youth Council is an amazing body that consolidates and mobilizes our young people around the various issues of concern for us. And I want to acknowledge Margaret here, Margaret Kiogora, as the CEO of the Kenya, the National Youth Council. Good people. There are many other. If I stood here to acknowledge one by one individuals, I would spend the whole day here. But all of you who populate and occupy positions of leadership in this ministry, I want you to know today that what we celebrate today is for you, belongs to you, because you have delivered this. We wouldn't achieve much if we did not work well with partners, with friends, and the various spaces where we work. We have several important projects through which we deliver our mandate. And I want to acknowledge those projects and the partnerships we have built around those projects, the partnerships that really deliver those projects. I want to acknowledge our WRC Safari Rally project, which delivers not only an important project in our sporting ecosystem, but is also one of the best branding value for this country. And so Phineas, the CEO of the WRC Safari Rally project, together with your whole team, your secretariat and the whole team around that space of the Safari Rally, hongera for the work you continue to do, to deploy rallying as a means of elevating this country. I want to acknowledge the KOP project, Bwana Mayabi there, together with your team. The Viva project, acknowledge you. Which other project may I not be, I'm using my visuals, which are not at their best. But all our projects, I want to acknowledge you. Now, when you think this ministry, ordinarily you will think sports, you will think music, you will think film. You will rarely think books. Yet, in the last 1 year, one of the most fulfilling responsibilities for us in this ministry has been to elevate the space of our libraries to the next level. And as the PS mentioned in his remarks, we were able to fly as part of our key milestones this year, the transition from a physical library to virtual digital library through the VTabu platform. And the man who has been behind that is the CEO of the Kenya National Library Service, Dr. Nzivo here, together with his team, the board that we have worked with to manage that space. And one of the beautiful things, as we talk about Talanta Hela, Daktari Ezekiel may imagine that royalties are only for musicians, but we have also now put in place a royalties plan for the literary artists through the VTabu platform, which is being managed by the team here. I thank the partnerships around those projects, and I thank our more traditional partners, especially partners in the field of federations. We have 76 federations represented here. It would not have been possible to give each of you 76 federations the opportunity to say something. But from this ministry today, I want you to know, each of you federation, from the better known, like the Football Kenya Federation of Doris Petra here, or the Athletics Kenya Federation of Dr. Tuwei, or the National Olympics Committee represented by my brother Mutuku here, to the lesser known federations, the Kabaddi Federation, the federation that is now managing esports, which is an emerging area of sports. All of you federations, we applaud you, we acknowledge you, and we thank you for the support of the work that we do. I also thank our partners in the film and music sector. We have had some incredible journey in the film and music sector. And this has been made possible because of working together with those who work in this space. Ezekiel, I don't know whether your brothers from Camp and Prisk are here, but on behalf of our partners in this space, MCSK, Prisk, Camp, and all the others in that space, tunawashukuru sana. Tunawashukuru sana, and we acknowledge you. We have a lot of corporate partners that we are working with. And I know that when we took office a year ago, a lot of corporate partners had taken flight because of the challenges that you have seen in the clip. Challenges of governance, challenges of transparency and accountability. had sent a lot of partners out of this space, but I'm very glad that partnership is returning and returning big time in this space. I want to acknowledge the Kenya Commercial Bank, a bank that I'm very proud of, Kenyan bank with an incredible Kenyan pedigree and history. I want to thank that bank for the partnership that we are working together around rallying, golf, rugby, and many other sporting disciplines. Kenya Commercial Bank. I want to thank Safaricom, with whom we are doing incredible partnerships. Among the partnership areas that I'm very proud of with Safaricom is the Talanta Hela online platform, which we launched today, which is being progressed in partnership with Safaricom. I also want to thank Sifau Motors, that are a key partner with the Safari Rally project, and all of you corporates, tunawashukuru sana. And on top of that pile, a special salute to the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC. And this year we've been able to do some amazing things with KBC, including, for the first time ever, bringing the National School Ball Games on live TV through our partnership with Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, which is also giving us a live feed for this particular event. Asante sana, KBC. And finally, we are a ministry of young people, a ministry of innovation, a ministry of creatives. We think global and act local. And in that context, I want to acknowledge our international partners. We have been able to put together an incredible heritage of partnerships in the international space. Today, we were joined by a number of these partners. His Excellency Anod Souke, the Ambassador of France to Kenya, and representatives of the embassies of Egypt, the United Republic of Tanzania, the Republic of Uganda, Malawi, Portugal, and China, who joined us today for this event. Let us give a round of applause to our international partners. And besides these partners who joined us today, we are also doing an amazing job with the UN, UNDP, UNICEF. We're doing a lot of work with other partners who may not be here, like the Embassy of Slovakia, the UK, the US, and many other partners. For all of you, and from us as a ministry, ninasema asanteni sana. Now, good people, you have gathered here, joined us here today to mark milestones, success stories of the last 1 year, the last 12 months. I took office as Cabinet Secretary on the 28th day of October last year, exactly 1 year ago today. And when I took office as part of the Kenya Kwanza administration, these are some of the things that confronted us right from the beginning. We inherited what can only be described as a neglected and rudderless youth, arts, and sports scene, which had become manifestly dysfunctional and dispirited. You could feel it, you could see it across the board. And this was fed by a number of realities. Number one, Kenyan football was suspended from all international competitions by the world governing body FIFA. And this had frozen the entire football economy. Kenya was suspended on February 24th by FIFA. And this is the reason why, because I hear many people wondering, why is Tanzania going to the Africa Cup of Nations next January and Kenya is not? The primary reason is that we were kicked out of the qualifiers the moment we were suspended. And that suspension pretty much froze football. Number two, doping had reached crisis levels. And in fact, Kenya was on the verge of suffering a second suspension by World Athletics. We were actually listed as an agenda item by a meeting of the Council of World Athletics in November last year. And we were definitely, certainly, without a doubt, going to be suspended in that meeting. Number three, our sports infrastructure was in tatters. And as we know very well, not a single Kenyan stadium was approved to host any international competitions. In fact, as recently as 3 months ago, there was debate as to whether Kakamega Homeboys, who were making their debut in African football, would play their game in a neighboring country because there was no venue FIFA would allow to host a game of that stature. Number four, Kenya's vibrant and varied creative enterprises remained primarily informal with little incentives as we have had. So whether you're talking about music, film, fashion, pageantry, fine art, the literary arts, they are all scattered all over the place. The perennial challenge of royalties and plagiarism was rife without any deliberate effort to address this challenge. In the film industry, Kenya's potential value chain was incoherent and missing incentives to attract filmmakers and investors to exploit our unrivaled scenery, rich, diverse culture, and heritage. And one of the things that I was confronted with in this sector was that if a filmmaker in Hollywood is making a decision where to shoot their movie in Africa, Kenya would not be on the list of options, despite the fact that we are the best destination in Africa. We have the best scenery and the best human resource compared to any. But they would ordinarily pick other destinations. They would go to South Africa, they'd go to Nigeria, they'd go to Rwanda. They wouldn't come here. And one of the reasons is just incentives, having an incentives framework. Sportsmen and women, alongside our creatives, were unappreciated. They were demotivated with a poor, erratic, and unpredictable rewards framework. It was absolutely inconceivable that athletes who represented this country 10, 11 years ago were still waiting for their cash awards 11 years down the line. And those of you who attended our Hongera Awards in August, when we doled out 100 million shillings, the bulk of that money was actually clearing debts of cash awards going back 11 years. Something absolutely incredible, incredulous actually. There was not the slightest plan or effort to identify, harness, and develop talent from the grassroots. No one championed sports as an enabler of sustainable development with myriad opportunities it presents for the youth. The country had no coherent agenda for young people, nor impactful programs targeting young people to effectively contribute to the growth of the national economy. In brief, that is the scene, that is the picture we inherited as the Kenya Kwanza administration in sports, in the creatives, and in youth affairs. So, today, some people are asking, what exactly are you celebrating? What are you meeting to celebrate? Are you just gathering here to eat obusuma and dance some ndombolo or vaida or and then go home? No. My answer for you is that in a short 12 months, in a very brief 1 year, we have completely turned around that narrative. Completely turned it around 180 degrees. You know, when you enter a vessel, you enter a ship, and you find it sinking because of cracks, the first thing you do, you fix the cracks. You stop the leaking. And after stopping the leaking, you can then look for the compass and the map to determine where you are headed. We inherited a sinking ship that was pretty much stuck. Even financing was a challenge. I am glad to report today that in 12 months, we have fixed the cracks. We have stopped the leaking. We now have a compass. We have a map. We know exactly where we are. And most importantly, we are definitely, certainly, unequivocally, undoubtedly, without any circumlocution or prevarication, we know where we are going. We know where we are going. In those 12 months, we have scored big in a number of areas. But today, I will highlight just 10. Number one, in 1 month, we got FIFA to lift the suspension. 1 month. We took office on 28th of October. FIFA lifted suspension on 28th November. Exactly 1 month. And it took direct contact. My first phone call as Cabinet Secretary, my first phone call was to the FIFA headquarters on this matter, because my president had given a commitment that Kenya would get back into the fold of international football immediately. And I placed a call to FIFA. It triggered a series of activities. I traveled to meet Mr. Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, and within 1 month, that ban was lifted. In that same period, within a period of 1 month, we averted the looming ban because of doping. And we tend to have short memories sometimes. But those of you who care to remember, you'd know that in the whole month of November, Kenyan media was awash with an air of expectation and trepidation, because everybody in this country believed that when the Council of World Athletics met that month, they were going to ban Kenya. We moved with speed. We engaged World Athletics, again, at the very highest level, at the level of the President of World Athletics, Lord Sebastian Coe. We even invited him to come to Nairobi, and he came. And we devised a plan on how we would confront doping. A plan that included committing 3.75 billion Kenya shillings over a period of 5 years. A plan that we are already deploying. And Kenya was not banned or suspended by World Athletics. As far as bans are concerned, it is within these same 12 months that we were able to clear the remaining ban, the ban on swimming, when we got World Aquatics to lift the suspension on Kenya Aquatics, and our swimmers can now swim. If you think lifting of the FIFA suspension to allow our football back is not something to celebrate, I don't agree with you. If you think saving our athletics, the goose that lays the golden egg, the sport that brands Kenya more than anything else, if you think saving athletics from a ban is nothing, I don't agree with you. If you think lifting the ban on Kenya Aquatics is nothing, I don't agree with you. It is a reason to celebrate, and so I am celebrating. I am celebrating. You know, there are people who think football is just a game of 22 people going into a stadium and kicking a ball around for 90 minutes. You are wrong. Football is a whole economy. Before that game, there is a fellow who came to mark that pitch. He was paid. During that game, there is a fellow who provides security. He's paid. During that game, there is a referee and assistant referees, the people you call linemen. They are paid. During that game, there are physios, there are doctors, there are coaches, there are team managers. There is a whole litany of people providing various services. They are paid. And above all, there are boys and girls whose lives are dependent on having that opportunity to kick that ball. That is how they put unga on the table, because of what they earn. It is a whole economy. When you suspend football, you freeze that economy. You destroy livelihoods. I celebrate today that that economy is back. You know, we had even forgotten how it feels to go back to the stadium and cheer a team. So when Kakamega Homeboys was playing Al Hilal Benghazi of Libya, we had to go beyond no ordinary. We even made the game free. And we mobilized 2,000 kids who are here for the National Holiday Talent Camp. We took them to the stadium, to fill the stadium, to cheer Kakamega Homeboys. Because it was the first time Kenya was returning to international football. And today, to see our rising starlets, our young girls, score 10 goals against Angola, to see our Harambee starlets do something that a Kenyan team has never done before, knock out Cameroon in a AFCON qualifier. You think it is something small? If you think it is something small, you are alone. I'm not with you. I think it's something really big that needs to be acknowledged. And so everybody that has been part of that journey to sort out our sporting space, to protect our athletics from doping, to get our football back running, to get our swimming back running, I applaud you today. Asanteni sana. Number 3. We have been able to put together something this country should have done 60 years ago. We did it in this 1 year. We put together what we are calling the Sports and Creatives Infrastructure Master Plan. You want to wonder, you know, Kenyans want to see good stadia. They want to see good facilities. And I'm always sent photos. I'm sent images of some of the best stadia in the world. Yesterday, someone sent me a clip, a 30-minute clip of the newly refurbished Bernabeu in Madrid, the home of Real Madrid. And so someone sent me, Waziri, look at this. Okay, I get that a lot. And I want to tell you, those beautiful stadia don't just happen. They don't just happen. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Ukiona vyaelea, ujue vimeundwa. Visipoundwa, havitaelea. Haviwezi kuelea. And so, we sat down. Immediately we came into office and asked, why do we have so many white elephants all over the country? Kamarin, Marsabit, Wote, all over the place. Everywhere you go, you find white elephants. When you look at the budgets, billions of shillings pumped into those projects, then they get stuck. And we even asked, when you are deciding to build a stadium in Kamarin, or in Wote, in Makueni, or in Marsabit, what is the logic? Why? Why do you build a stadium in one place and not the other? And I asked that question. How did we decide to do this one and not the other one? We realized there was no plan. There was no logic. And we did something which today I am so proud to celebrate. We developed Kenya's first ever sports and creatives infrastructure master plan. And so today, if you see us building a facility, it is logical, it is well thought, and it is reasoned because it is a product of a master plan. When you see us announce we are going to build the Talanta Sports City for the Africa Cup of Nations, it is not dropping on the table from nowhere. It is being picked from our master plan. We have announced, for instance, that we will not do a stadium in Cameroon because you don't go to Cameroon to compete. Why do you want to build a stadium in Cameroon? Cameroon is the highest altitude area in terms of training. So you don't need a stadium in Cameroon. What you need in Cameroon is an elite, high altitude training facility. And so when you go into our master plan, we have pulled out the plans to do a stadium in Cameroon and replaced it with an elite high altitude training facility at Cameroon. Coherence, thought, logic, master plan. And you think that is not worth celebrating? I don't agree with you. I think I want to celebrate that. It's because of this master plan that we have told you we want to refurbish these facilities. And in that master plan, we have done it in a very coherent Tier 1, international stadia. Tier 2, regional facilities. Tier 3, community grounds and academies. All properly thought out with a budget. We know exactly how much money we need to deploy to realize this between now and 2027. Number 4, we found this whole scene of rewards. I have mentioned a challenge where people run for this country and they don't know what they are going to receive in return. Or even if they know, it is erratic. It is not predictable. We sat down and developed bigger, better rewards scheme. And so today this country has got a very coherent, very well thought out reward scheme. When Faith Kipyegon broke her world record, and she arrived here, and we were ready with 5 million shillings, and she broke another one, and we were ready with 6 million shillings to buy a house. When Kelvin Kiptum broke the marathon world record the other day, he arrived here, and we were ready with 5 million shillings. Good people, it is not erratic, it is not accidental, it is part of this new rewards scheme. And it is under this scheme that we have harmonized the rate of rewarding our athletes. So athletes know today, if I break a world record, 5 million. If I win a gold medal in a world championship, 3 million shillings. If I win a silver medal, 2 million shillings. If I win a bronze medal, 1 million shillings. It is certain, it's predictable, it is definite, and it's because of this new reward scheme. This reward scheme has also done something else. It has revised allowances. You may not know this. If you are selected to run for Kenya at the Olympics next year, you'd go into camp for some time. The rate was 1,000 shillings when you are in camp here per day. And when you get out of Kenya, $60 a day. This scheme has revised that by tripling those rates. And today, so when you're out there, actually it's more than triple because now we give you $200 a day for being in camp to represent this country. Number 5, we have consolidated, formalized, and monetized the creative economy space. When in February this year, we gathered winners of the Kenya Theatre Awards, the Kenya National Theatre Awards, for breakfast. They thought they were just coming to have breakfast with us. But in the course of that breakfast, everybody walked away with a check. For the first time, the Spians got money for their efforts. For the first time, people in the music industry have been able to sit down with us and deal with big issues bedeviling this industry. Ezekiel has talked about the new tariffs, which I gazetted this year. I really celebrate those tariffs, because those tariffs have raised the platform of collecting more for our musicians. The blank tape levy. We had talked about the blank tape levy for way too long. I am so happy that we have actioned the blank tape levy. And by the way, mwezi haujapita, but you already have 4.4 million shillings in that account, in that blank tape levy account. The money is already flowing into the blank tape levy account. And I know that in another 1 year, the blank tape levy will be a cash cow to be milked by our musicians for their benefit. Number 6, we have put in place what you are calling the Better Young People's Agenda, an agenda for young people. We love to say young people in this country are the vast majority, and it's true. But we have been engaging in tokenism for our young people. We particularly love to mobilize them around election time, and then young people become very premium. We have decided to change that narrative. And now we are being deliberate, intentional, and structured on definite substantive programs for the youth. I'm very proud of a number of programs we've been able to put in place this year. And the officers working in this space will tell you that I have refused theory. Mayavi there, Mayavi Simama. Mayavi has been implementing a program called KEOP, which we have progressed to the new phase called Nyota. And when I reviewed KEOP, I found things like pedagogical training of the youth, pedagogy. And I was like, pedagogy? No. It's okay for young people to be thinkers and to be critical thinkers, but I'm not going to spend serious money to take young people into a class for pedagogy. I want young people to be supported to create opportunities for themselves where they can earn money now, not tomorrow. And some of the programs, you can see, some of the programs we have created. One in the space of climate adaptation. We are rolling out what I believe to be a truly incredible program, the 1 Million Youth Green Army on Climate Adaptation. This project, good people, is revolutionary. And we are deploying it in partnership with the University of Nairobi, the University of Groningen in the Netherlands, the Global Center for Adaptation, and the ministry. And young people who are out there, this is your moment to seize the benefits around this incredible space we call climate adaptation. It is something that is going to deliver real value for you. And we have also plugged our young people in important global spaces. Today, the Kenyan agenda is part of the Generation Unlimited agenda of the United Nations. And I really want to thank His Excellency the President for nominating me to sit on the Global Leadership Council of Generation Unlimited. Our young people's agenda is now part of the Commonwealth Young People Agenda because we have plugged you into those spaces. And I was in London for the Commonwealth session and I met 6 young Kenyans who are already plugged in that space. I was in New York for the Generation Unlimited program and I met a brilliant Kenyan attorney that is taking advantage of the Generation Unlimited. So we are talking about opening doors of opportunity and pushing young people to take advantage of those opportunities. I have no doubt that by the time we solidify the 5 pillars of the better young people's agenda, the space of the youth in this country will never be the same again. My warning to those of you who work with me in this space, no more theorizing, no more pedagogy, no more things which cannot deliver real benefits to the people. We want the youth of this country to feel their moment today and not tomorrow. And as we do that, you know the mantra, for youth, of youth, by youth. That is the mantra. Number 7, we are very proud to have our own home as a ministry. The spanking, glittering new Talanta Plaza. This building, for me, signifies our desire to be coherent and to be synced in our operations. We have had a ministry that is scattered all over the place. And this has been the case for a long time. I was Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports in the Kibaki administration. I sat at Kencom House. My office was on the 2nd floor of Kencom House. And you have officers of this ministry at Kencom House, Uchumi House, NSSF, Bruce House, all over the place. We now have a home where we can consolidate all the segments of this ministry, but it is a home which we are also using to celebrate our sportsmen and women and our creatives. We have created Kenya's first ever Hall of Fame, and you walk into that Hall of Fame and you can interact with the heritage of our sports and creatives by the honor we have given them in that Hall of Fame. Those of you who haven't done it, welcome to the Hall of Fame at Talanta Plaza. Number 8, this year we have been able to put together some truly incredible events. We have continued the heritage of being a destination for mega events. We had a very successful WRC Safari Rally. And for us, not only did we host a successful event, but we convinced our partners, the promoter, the FIA, we convinced them that the Safari Rally belongs to the Easter weekend and not in June, where it had been displaced. And I'm very happy that the Safari Rally 2024 goes back to Easter, where we can all embrace it as part of our Easter heritage. We have done successfully the Magical Kenya Golf event. We have hosted 2 highly successful international rugby events for young people. We have hosted big football games already. As I have indicated, the people who feared that Kenyan teams would be forced to play outside Kenya. Kakamega Homeboys played at Nyayo. Harambee Stars has played here. The Harambee Starlets, the Rising Starlets, have played at Nyayo. And our teams will continue to play on Kenyan soil. No Kenyan team will ever suffer the odium and shame of playing on foreign soil, not under the watch of the Kenya Kwanza administration. But as we hold these events, we are happy to return our sports to live TV. I'm very happy that live broadcasts are coming back. Azam TV partnership with FKF is already delivering pay TV. And we have concluded an arrangement with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation to deliver the Kenya Premier League on free-to-air TV, which is really the purpose of delivering TV to hustlers who may not really want to invest in decoders. I'm very happy with that. Number 9, we ended this year on a real high by delivering the Africa Cup of Nations 2027. You know, when we came to office, we knew exactly what the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto dictated. And among the dictates of the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto for sports was that Kenya must attract premium international events here to help us improve our infrastructure, to help us grow our talents, and to drive tourism traffic into the country. And so we made 2 targets in my first press conference as minister. Number 1, I announced that we will go for Africa Cup of Nations. And number 2, I said, before President William Ruto leaves office, Kenya will play at the World Cup. We are calling it the Football Vision 2030. The farthest, ingawa nimeambia hawa watu wa FKF, Doris, nimewaambia even 2026 is possible. Kenya can be at Canada, US, Mexico World Cup in 2026. But our farthest target is 2030. A World Cup that is partly going to be played on the African continent in Morocco. And so in the first month, I prepared a cabinet paper for cabinet to ask for cabinet to allow us to bid for AFCON jointly with Uganda and Tanzania. Tuambiane tu ukweli, there have been a lot of doubting Thomases around this AFCON project. One, there are doubting Thomases who believed we would never pull it off. In fact, when on 27th September, the CAF President Patrice Motsepe announced that Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania had won the right to host AFCON, most of you were in disbelief, total disbelief, because many of you believed we couldn't pull this off. But because of the team we had put together, the lobbying we had done, the backroom diplomatic blitz that we had undertaken, and the support of His Excellency President William Ruto, alongside President Yoweri Museveni in Kampala, President Samia Suluhu in Dar es Salaam, I was so sure. My team that accompanied me to Cairo will tell you, they actually came to wake me up. I had done a long flight from Florida to Cairo. They came to wake me up to tell me, Waziri, it is done. Because after I made the presentation to the CAF Council, I went to sleep. I was that confident. But there were so many doubting Thomases in Nairobi. Not just doubting Thomases, there were even those who did not want us to get this bid. They were praying, kamati za roho chafu, shindwe kabisa. But you know, we won this thing. Let us give a round of applause to AFCON. Now, kamati ya roho chafu is praying that like in 96, when we got it and it was taken away, like in 2018 when we got Chan and it was taken away, they are now praying that it is taken away. I am sorry to disappoint you. This is going nowhere. It is going nowhere. Africa Cup of Nations 2027 will be hosted in Nairobi, in Kampala, in Dar es Salaam, as a celebration of the Jumuiya spirit that brings us together as this region. It will be an opportunity for us to grow our game, to develop talents in this region, to improve infrastructure across our regions. It will be an opportunity for us to deepen bonds of integration. For the first time, I know East Africa will deliver that long-awaited East African tourist passport, tourist visa, so that you get one visa and you can be able to access the whole of East Africa. I believe that East Africa will use this opportunity to open their airwaves so that broadcast can happen easily across the region, to open the skies so that our airlines can fly across East Africa. I am looking forward to AFCON giving the world an incredible East African experience. From the Ruwenzori Mountains to Kilimanjaro, the twin Serengeti Masai Mara to Diani Beach, it is an incredible cocktail we intend to offer the world through the Africa Cup of Nations in East Africa. And if you are still on the sidelines, join us in putting together the most incredible Africa Cup of Nations ever seen. Those who are asking about our facilities, we will be ready. Our facilities will be ready. Nyayo will be ready. Kasarani will be ready. Talanta Sports City will be ready. Even support facilities in Kisumu, in Kakamega, in Eldoret, they will be ready. I assure you. Because AFCON is one of our proudest milestones for this first year in office for this administration. Finally, we are very proud to have put together the revolutionary Talanta Hela initiative. Talanta Hela for us is the silver bullet to answer to the many challenges that we inherited in this sector. Talanta Hela is anchored on 7 pillars. And you'll be able to look at the details of those pillars in the milestones document we'll share. But the long and short of it for Talanta Hela is identifying, nurturing, and monetizing talents. Talents in all sporting disciplines. Talents in creatives, in music, in film, in theater, in fashion, in pageantry, in fine art, in the literary arts, in photography, in content creation. All that space, you belong to Talanta Hela. MCGC. Don't worry about the architecture of government. Government does not necessarily hold itself back because of architecture. Government is driven by policy and vision. And this government has got a good policy frame, bottom-up economic transformation agenda. This government has got a good vision. So Talanta Hela will continue to fly exactly as envisaged. And so in the area of nurturing, monetizing talents, formalizing, monetizing creative economy, the Presidential Innovation Challenge, forging transformative partnerships, building a sports apparels and equipment value chain, delivering quality infrastructure for sports and the creatives, and delivering Talanta Hela online. All those 7 pillars of Talanta Hela will be delivered. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the partners we have worked with in the Talanta Hela initiative. Because of this framework we have put together, it has been very easy to secure important partnerships. We have signed a number of MOUs. I was in New York in September to sign an MOU with the NBA. And those of you who are at the academy, you saw a construction site to the right. That is an NBA project because NBA is already constructing 2 state-of-the-art basketball courts to ignite our partnership in the space of basketball. I left New York and flew to LA. I signed an agreement with Invention Studios, one of the biggest film studios in Hollywood. They are preparing to shoot 15 movies in the next 1 year in Kenya because of that MOU. I took time in LA to sign an agreement with the Grammys, the Academy of the Arts, the Grammys, who are preparing to set shop here. We have also signed agreements with important bilateral friends and partners. We have an agreement with South Africa, an audio-visual co-production agreement. We have an agreement with Angola, which we signed when the Angolan president was in town last week. We have an agreement with China. We have an agreement with Cuba. When Amutuko mentioned our Kenyan boxers going to train in Cuba which is really a global powerhouse in amateur boxing. It's because of that agreement, delivering real things under that partnership framework. We have an agreement with Serbia. We have an agreement with Slovakia. We have an agreement with France. We have an agreement with Tress Music. We are now building partnerships with academies. I am happy to announce here to those of you who are in this room, when we launched Kenya's first ever holiday talent camp. We launched it here, right in this auditorium. There were 2,000 school children in this hall that day, selected from primary and secondary schools during the ball games in different disciplines. You saw some of those children here. We spent a week with them in that camp. I am delighted that since then, a number of them are moving at a rate you cannot imagine. I traveled to Montverde Academy in Orlando, Florida, to meet 17-year-old Louis Ingavi, straight from Goseta Secondary School, now on a football scholarship at Montverde Academy. And I stood there with this young man, Ray, who was my bodyguard that day. We stood there like this, watching Ingavi playing football against boys from Ghana, Brazil, Argentina, and many other places. And I was like, Kenyans should not be too worried about the successor to Michael Lunga. He's right here. He's 17, and he's being trained at the very highest level, at elite level. After that talent camp we did here, we hosted at Talanta Plaza the families of 3 other boys who were here with us at that talent camp. Aldrin Kibet, Amos Wanjala, Alvin Kasavuli. We hosted them, prepared for them to travel to Nastic Football Academy in Tarragona in Spain. Every week, I get clips. There are now actually 4 boys there because another boy called Ezekiel Ngua from Kericho County has since joined the group. So in Tarragona alone, we have 4 boys. Aldrin Kibet, Alvin Kasavuli, Amos Wanjala, and Ezekiel Ngua. In addition to Louis Ingavi in Orlando, you have 5 boys direct out of our school ecosystem following that pipeline. And I can tell you, I get clips of those boys weekly. I see them. Amos is a central defender, a classical sweeper. Alvin Kasavuli is a central midfielder. Aldrin Kibet is a creator, a classical number 10. Louis Ingavi is your classical striker, a center forward, number 9. I see a spine for Harambee Stars of tomorrow. I see a spine in those young people. You are telling me that I should not celebrate that as a cabinet secretary? I am celebrating. I am. I am celebrating. And even for girls, we were with girls here too. There's a girl called Valerie Nekesa. 17 years, Madeira girls, Form 3. Top striker today in the Women Premier League at 17. Out of those 10 goals that Angola suffered, A basketball of them were actually from Valerie Nekesa. She was supposed to be here. Valerie really wanted to speak to you today. She wanted to give you a testimony. But when I talked to her last night, she told me she has a game tomorrow, a Women Premier League game tomorrow with her Soccer Assassins. She plays for a team called Soccer Assassins. At 17, Valerie, who was scouted during that process through the school ball games, has every sign, every indication of a top future soccer star. Hata nimeomba hawa watu FKF accelerate her movement from the rising starlet to the Harambee starlet. She is that good. And many other cases. This is the pipeline that Talanta Hela has created. Deliberate, intentional, structured. Deliberate, intentional, structured. Offer an avenue where we can plug into schools the natural ecosystem for talents and then progress these talents. Many people have imagined that Talanta Hela is an app. Talanta Hela is not an app. Talanta Hela is a process. Talanta Hela is a pipeline. Talanta Hela is a conveyor belt. Mutuku mentioned Caroline Anyango. We picked Caroline in the school games in February. Mentioned her to Athletics Kenya and the National Olympics Committee. She was given a chance to go to Lusaka, raw, untested, untrained. She went there for the African Under-18 Continental Championship. She won as bronze. In javelin, a sport which you imagine that Kenya may not be very well endowed. And now Caroline is part of a team of 4 young athletes, under 17, that we have secured a training camp program with the government of Azerbaijan, and they'll be traveling to Baku in the next 2 weeks to undertake that program. It is in javelin, it is in the hurdles, and most importantly, it is in the steeplechase, where we want to regain our hold as a key player. And so today, we completed the circuit of that Talanta Hela pipeline by putting in place Talanta Hela Online. And therefore, we are delighted today to ride our Talanta Hela flagship on the digital superhighway. Revolutionary and unprecedented. Talanta Hela is all about identifying, nurturing, and monetizing talents across all sports and all creatives, including music, film, fashion, pageantry, theater, content creation, photography, film, and literary arts. We are deliberate, we are intentional, we are structured in providing a pipeline, a conveyor belt from the depths of the villages of Kenya to the dizzying heights of the world's top arenas for sports and creatives. The pipeline deploys a superbly synced web of scouting and screening, both physical and virtual. So, from Todonyang in the north to Loitoktok in the south, from Shimoni in the east to Budalangi in the west, we invite everyone with any kind of talent to plug into this pipeline now. If the physical scouting team does not reach you, no biggie, no worry. Talanta Hela Online got you sorted. Simply take a sharp 1 to 3 minute clip, log onto the Talanta Hela app, which you can get on Google Store, and blame me, you are on board real time. It's actually real time. You plug in, you are in. A dedicated team of virtual scouts will receive your submission at the digital screening hub and take requisite action. If your submission ticks all the set metrics, you'll be invited to the Kenya Academy of Sports for progression. Through this physical and virtual web of scouting and screening, We will select top talents and funnel them to appropriate destinations, including academies and clubs, both domestic and international, as well as national teams and institutions like the Kenya Film School. But Talanta Hela Online is also a virtual marketplace for talents, for innovations, and for products. In this virtual space, we offer a display window to the world. Basically, we are telling you, come showcase yourself to the world. Indeed, all top talents will be available on the digital platform for continuous scouting across the world. At zero cost, we are literally taking you to the whole universe. The ultimate aim is to transform the Kenyan sports and creative scene into a mega industry and key economic pivot, supporting sustainable livelihoods for millions of Kenyans. Good people, if you're looking for what Talanta Hela is, that is it. That is it. Creating a pipeline and ultimately turning sports and the creatives into an industry. Let me conclude by assuring you that in this mission of Talanta Hela, we are working very closely with schools because we believe the primary talent pool in Kenya is our school ecosystem. And so this year, among our top achievements was to sponsor all activities in school. We gave the Ministry of Education 267 million Kenya shillings to support ball games, to support music festival, to support drama and film festival. And we told the ministry, parents should not pay a penny. Movement should not be a problem. Accommodation should not be a problem. Referees, judges should not be a problem. And it is a partnership we intend to continue to make sure that this ministry and the Ministry of Education runs that pipeline together. Finally, we are also investing in the innovation space. I want to use this opportunity to invite all youth of Kenya to take advantage of the Presidential Innovation Challenge and Award. The challenge is already running on the website of the Kenya Innovation Agency, Kenya. You plug into that website, you'll be able to bring your innovation forward. Today we celebrated a young man called Zach, who has been able to fix a challenge for us with an electronic substitution board. Zach, if you are in the room, I am finishing my submission with you. And I am so proud of this young man because we picked him in a youth event. He had a brilliant idea. We have worked with him on this idea. He has perfected this idea. And now we have a Kenyan-made, Kenyan-designed, Kenyan-produced electronic substitution board. And it is the only board that will be used in all Talanta Hela activities. And I ask the Football Kenya Federation that this be the only board used by match officials in your games. Stop using manila paper. Stop using cardboards. Use Zach's electronic substitution board. Zach is working here with his board. I'm going to be giving him the last opportunity to explain how this board works. We are working with him to, as part of our sports apparels and equipment value chain, to put this board into mass production. Mass production. He has already employed 3 youth in this production. I want all of us to give a round of applause from this son of Kiambu as he comes here to tell you about this. I want to thank Gor Mahia Football Club, the Kenya Premier League champions, for deciding, the first club to decide to purchase these electronic boards from Zach for the purposes of use by Gor Mahia Football Club. Other football clubs, hello, did you hear what I said? Gor Mahia Football Club Kogal already led the way. It would be great for every football team to have their own electronic board. Talanta Hela will be leading the way, and FKF must invest in this heavily. Before Zach takes the mic, because after Zach takes over, I'll be done. Let me take this opportunity to invite all of us to two significant events which this ministry will be playing host to. The Kenya National Innovation Week, Commonwealth Edition. We are bringing to Kenya 56 member countries of the Commonwealth. We'll have a presidential segment, we'll have a ministerial segment, we'll have a youth segment, and we'll have an opportunity for young people like Zach to share their innovations across the Commonwealth, from Canada to Samoa, from the UK to Lesotho. We will be gathering together on the 27th and 28th of November to celebrate the innovations of our young people. If you have not submitted your innovation, do it today. Every top innovation in the various segments will walk away with 5 million startup fund. That is a fund to help you. You can clap for me more. You can clap for me more. Thank you. 5 million startup fund to help you turn the innovation into a business. So it is a great opportunity. And there is no limitation on what you can innovate. You can innovate fintech, you can innovate electronic, you can innovate fisheries, you can tell us how to increase fish in Lake Victoria. You can innovate climate adaptation. You can innovate agriculture. You can innovate anything. It is a carte blanche, it's a blank space. Bring those ideas. We will be rewarding the very top innovations. And then in December, from December 8th to December 12th, we host the 6th Youth Connect Africa Summit, bringing together 20,000 young people to move this continent forward around the theme, Youth Innovating a Borderless African Renaissance. I want to invite you to come to Youth Connect. I want to ask our partners, the diplomatic partners that are with us, to join us for that. And I want, in that regard, to recognize the president of the Red Cross Africa Youth, who is here with us, is Amin Abdul with us? Mr. Abdul, are you with us? Yes, I'm going to be inviting you to come and greet these good people, and also to confirm with you that we expect Red Cross to send a significant number of your youth network to the Youth Connect Africa Summit. And we want to do a formal partnership between the ministry and Red Cross for that purpose. So can we put our hands together, number one, for our milestones. Aren't they milestones? Honestly, those milestones deserve a standing ovation. Come on, let's have some serious applause to the milestones. Thank you very much. You can be seated. And as the clip reminded us, undoubtedly, certainly, definitely, unequivocally, unambiguously, we have transformed this sector from what we found. And I believe things can only get better. Next year, we are not going to be that elaborate because we have set very few targets for next year. We have set very, very few targets for next year. And among the targets we have set for next year is to complete our journey around infrastructure and to fix outstanding issues around royalties, around plagiarism and just formalizing that whole creative economy by delivering the creative economy bill, which is our big agenda as we move into the next year. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you very much. So Zach, it's your moment. Introduce yourself to this, or you want to come here? You're good? Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Our special CS, Honorable Ababu Namwamba, our PS, Ismail, the CEO, CAS, all dignitaries present, my fellow young people, good afternoon. I'm Zacchaeus Wamete Munyange. I'm from Kiambu. And I want to take this special moment I've been given by the special CS. He's a very special person in my heart. Because every opportunity that he has to either mention me or give me a chance to showcase what I have made here. Thank you, Waziri. Thank you very much. I'll go straight to demonstrate how, or maybe to say, what is it that I'm holding here? It is an electronic substitution board, or a football electronic substitution board. It's used in field of football to do substitute. The reason why I came up with this innovation, or where I got this idea from, actually, I'm a fan of football. I'm a fan of Gor Mahia. And I was watching a Premier League match. I saw, I think it was Tusker against Sofapaka. They did a Premier League match, they did a substitute using a plain paper sheet. To me, I felt embarrassing. So I had to go to sit down, having done electronics engineering. I sat down and I thought I can come with such a stuff. I haven't done it I myself alone. I've done with my fellow people whom I've trained, I've consulted, and he has just left. One is called Boniface. I want to appreciate him and maybe mention him in front of the CS so that he can feel appreciated. I'll go straight to how my board operates. It's very simple. It's very simple. Have a power switch here. You switch it on. We have a keypad here at the back. Buona CS. I have 3 boards. Can I pick another one, please? I think this one is kind of misbehaving. Please.
Kenya Railways Corporation is pleased to announce the launch of terminal operations at the Malaba Transshipment Hub.
This is the dream of our forefathers, to enjoy the beauty that is in the Pearl of Africa.
We have been given tasks as ministers responsible for transport. One of it is to make sure that the movement of goods from Mombasa through Uganda to the neighboring countries of South Sudan,